Tonight on News Live at 6, Syracuse University is remembering the life of Sheldon Stone. We're here outside of a celebration for his life, and I'll have the latest coming up.
Plus, I'm here at the Shine Student Center ahead of the watch party for SU versus Duke in the NBC's Capital One College Bowl. I'll break down what students can expect at the watch party tonight.
New York City is being forced to bear far more than its share of this national crisis caused by political motivation.
Calling for federal and state aid, all that and more. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Tonight, Syracuse University remembers a renowned particle physicist, professor, and mentor to so many here on campus. Good evening and welcome to News Live at 6. I'm Trey Redfield, filling in for Ashley Winskowski.
And I'm Chilekasi. Adele. A number of prestigious speakers came to Hendricks Chapel today to recognize Professor Sheldon Stone's accomplishments. We start tonight's coverage with Citrus TV's John Perik. He's live at Hendricks Chapel right now. John.
Well, guys, today is a day of remembrance. At least that's the message that has been going throughout Hendricks Chapel throughout the ceremony, and it's still going on right now. Today is a celebration of life for Professor Stone. Professor Stone tragically passed away a year ago. He lost his battle with chronic illness, and now a year later, Syracuse is remembering his life. But the big message, though, and the big takeaway is that today it's a day of remembrance. It's a day never to forget who was a great man. Now, the event began today with a violin performance, and then it included remarks from colleagues in the physics department here at Syracuse. That lasted about 10 minutes, and then the majority of the celebration included remarks from his wife. She presented a slideshow of Professor Stone's life, and also many of his other colleagues from universities throughout the entire country and the world. The University of Phoenix, Arizona, and all the way to the University of Oxford. Professors from universities throughout the world spoke, and it was high praise for Professor Stone. Many professors saying that he was nothing more than a giant in the world of physics. Tonight, live outside of Hendricks Chapel, John Perik, Citrus TV News.
John, thanks so much. The unveiling of Guyana Segona, which translates to the Great Law of Peace, will be held on Monday. The artwork was done by Brandon Lazuri, a member of the Onondaga Nation. Lazuri was selected by students and alumni after he responded to a call for artist submissions. Monday's ceremony will take place outside of Bone Hall at noon.
Fiesta Latina takes place on the underground level at the Shine Student Center tonight. Enjoy Latinx cuisine, live entertainment, student performances, and dancing. Free tickets are available for students with a valid SU or ESF ID, but $5 to the general public. Doors open at 6:45. The program begins 15 minutes later at 7.
New details here on campus. Tonight, the SU team will be taking on Duke in the next round of the NBC's Capital One College Bowl. Joining us now from outside the Shine Student Center is Adam Campos. Adam, what can you tell us?
Hey guys, like I said, I'm here outside the Shine Student Center with 2 hours away from the College Game Day watch party, or the College Bowl watch party, apologies, where SU is going to take on Duke. It's a long rivalry that we have here, but when I mention College Bowl and I mention SU and Duke, I'm not talking basketball and I'm not talking football, I'm not talking sports in general. I'm talking trivia. College Bowl is a trivia game on an array of subjects featuring students from different universities and different colleges across the country. So let's go ahead and take a look at who's on Syracuse's squad this year. We see seniors Zoe McGarry, junior Sanjeev Upalari, and junior Emma Lambioso. Right alongside them are Manning brothers Cooper and Peyton. SU's team has already won a $10,000 scholarship for advancing to the quarterfinals, and if they win tonight's game, they'll head to the semifinals of the competition. And the winning prize is close to $1 million in scholarship money. It's single elimination from here on out, so the team will have to bring it every night for the grand prize. And tonight, the watch party is going to include free pizza, free t-shirts, and just a fun time for students to come on and cheer their fellow SU students. Trey, back to you guys.
Adam, thank you. Now, turning to weather, you know, I walked out this morning, and how fitting for the first day of postseason baseball the weather was the way it was. Yesterday, temperatures were in the 70s.
Right.
And a big drop.
Big drop today, and of course you bring up postseason baseball. Your Phillies got it done tonight, so props to you, my friend. But let's talk about the weather, and for that, we bring in Walker Simmons, who's filling in today for Dylan Brendel. Walker, what can you tell us?
Well, guys, it was 70s just a little bit ago, but let's keep in mind, I mean, it's October in upstate New York, 51 degrees, and that is perfect right now. You better enjoy these weathers because before you know it, you're going to be walking in knee-high snow. Things are going to get cold before you know it, and that's just Syracuse weather for you. We got low winds today, and it's a big night. A lot of students will be out on the town, so just keep that in mind. 47, it's expected to drop to as low as 41 possibly, so it'll be cold. It won't be as cold as it'll be later, you know, as fall progresses. But right now, 47 degrees in fall with Syracuse. That's a pretty nice temperature. Light winds, too, coming in from the northwest here, as you can see, Syracuse. And that'll just come right on through. Nothing crazy. 11-mile-per-hour winds, I would say, at the most. So it's not going to have much on the real feel or anything within that matter. But like I said, it's going to be a bit of a brisk night walking out around Syracuse. That's all I have right now. We'll get later into what to expect this weekend later in the show. But for now, guys.
Walker, thank you. New tonight, the CDC is urging masks in 9 New York counties with high COVID levels. Oswego County is one of the 9 in the orange, meaning people are at high risk. Onondaga County was a part of this list too, but as you can see on your screen, it just got downgraded to yellow.
Cases went down more than 17% this week in Onondaga County. Masks are not recommended indoors in areas with medium or low community levels, like yellow for medium and green for low, as you see on your screen.
Columbus Day, which is also known as Indigenous Peoples Day, is this Monday, the second Monday in October. Here's what will be open and closed in 3 days. Banks will vary, but stock markets will be open. County offices will also remain open, but courts are closed. Post offices will also be closed, but grocery stores and most restaurants will stay open. Lastly, parking will be free on Monday.
The internationally recognized Queen tribute band Killer Queen is coming to the Historic Theater in Syracuse. The date is set for March 23rd at 8 p.m. Tickets for the show are already on sale. In fact, they went on sale today. They can be sold through Live Nation and Ticketmaster by going through the Landmark Theater's website or purchased at its box office.
Micron is opening a new computer chip plant in central New York. It's starting to set in that life for residents of Clay will soon change forever. Citrus TV's Nicole Aponte reports.
Burnett Road is soon to be a thing of the past.
Because one way or another, they're going to make me move. I don't want to move, but I'm going to have to move.
Maris Rosenbergs has been living with his wife in this house for more than half a century. Now it's being knocked down to make room for Micron, one of the world's largest chip manufacturing plants.
This road here, you come back here 2 years from now, 3 years from now, this will be a 4-lane highway or 4-lane road. All these trees will be gone.
The Onondaga Industrial Development Agency, or OSIDA, offered money to Maris and his neighbors for their property. Maris says it's not enough.
The inflation took off, and it's costing us more money to go to our new place than we anticipated.
Maris tells me that in the next 1 to 2 months, families are going to be forced out of their homes, but only 5 of the original 37 families are left here.
I mean, as you go out, when you leave here, you'll see a house on the left-hand side, just before you get to 31, with a picture of a dog on the lawn. That lady did not want to leave.
Burnett Road is a hidden gem in central New York. Serenity, wildlife, and a sense of community, especially for Maris.
Nice and quiet. I mean, I can go out in my backyard and just sit there and look at the trees and look at the birds.
Maris's home for the past 52 years will soon be long gone, but his selflessness shining through, still thinking of his neighbors.
My heart goes out to the younger people, the younger families with the little guys. I've lived my life, okay? I'm fine. I'm fine with what's going to happen.
Reporting in Clay, Nicole Aponte, Citrus TV News.
Nicole, thanks so much. Authorities say they are investigating the alleged murder-suicide of 2 men Thursday at a shooting range in western New York. They discovered the bodies of 2 additional victims, both women, at separate locations. According to Erie County Sheriff John Garcia, all of the victims are believed to be related. Names and additional information were not immediately released.
Police on Long Island have identified the pilot who was killed in a plane crash yesterday afternoon. 57-year-old Kent Caring's plane went down after witnesses reported what appeared to be a wing break off the fuselage. The plane was sent spiraling into the Hamptons 3 Mile Harbor. Caring was pronounced dead when officers arrived with no passengers on board.
10 people are severely injured after a police SUV swerved onto a sidewalk Thursday afternoon in the Bronx. The vehicle was responding to a call when the driver drove across an intersection onto a sidewalk where bystanders and a young child were standing. Among the injured were a 5-year-old child and a 65-year-old senior. 2 NYPD officers were among the 8 people taken immediately to a hospital.
Still to come tonight, Yom Kippur was this week. Hear how both students and faculty dealt with fasting.
Plus, we will have the latest on the state of emergency in New York City today. We'll be right back.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. The 49th annual Lafayette Apple Festival takes place tomorrow and Sunday. Citrus TV's Benjamin Schiller has the preview of the festival and its battle with inflation.
Inflation and the thought of raising prices is on the mind of some vendors at this year's Lafayette Apple Festival.
Yeah, the prices are up. I mean, we've had to raise a little bit, but not a lot.
Steve Robinson has been operating a food stand at the festival for 22 years. He has one goal in mind, and that's to offset the rising costs of food products at this year's event.
Hope so. I hope so, because we put a lot of food out through this building.
But Robinson isn't the only vendor who's had to raise food prices this year. Kevin Lurch's booth had to raise the prices of their festival favorite steak sandwich from $8 to $10.
But we didn't even cover the costs of inflation, so we just basically ate a little bit of ourselves, but the rest of it we tried to make sure that we weren't losing money.
Not only are the favorite food stands returning this year, so are the rides and amusements. The price of admission this year is $6, and kids that are 12 years old and younger get in for free. Parking is also free this year. The festival will be open on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. One festival official said they are expecting approximately 30,000 people in attendance this year. People who come to the festival this weekend may be able to pick an apple from a tree, just like the one behind me. In Lafayette, Benjamin Schiller.
The ritual of fasting is quite typical on Yom Kippur, but this year that was not the case for some. Citrus TV's Ben Spector details how people observe the holy holiday.
Breaking the fast, a ritual on a very special day in Judaism. That's Yom Kippur. But what else happens on the holiday?
In Yom Kippur we pray and we fast to show that we're sorry for our sins, and our sins, by the way, both to God and to other people.
This is Omer Talker, who just moved from Israel to Syracuse this past August. Omer works at the Syracuse University Hillel on Walnut Place, and he holds the 24 hours of Yom Kippur dear to his heart.
For a lot of people, Yom Kippur is mostly considered the holiest day in the Jewish year.
On the holiest day of the year, it isn't very typical to eat food like this banana or drink a beverage. But a group in Washington, D.C. is gathering to observe the holiday, and they're encouraged to bring food and beverages for their physical and mental health. That's not a very typical way of observing the holiday, but according to Omer, it actually might be.
I personally don't fast, but I did go around and ask for forgiveness from people in my life.
While Omer doesn't fast, Zachary Braderman, a Judaism professor at SU, does.
I fasted, and I had a big meal the night before.
Different ways of observing certainly exist, but one thing is constant for Jewish life.
The essence of ritual is to keep a community together.
And most people who celebrate?
I'm asking for your forgiveness.
Ben Spector, NCC News.
Ben Spector, thank you. To the latest now, New York City Mayor Eric Adams tonight declaring a state of emergency. This coming as thousands of migrants coming across the southern border continue to be bused to America's biggest city. Adams says the influx of migrants is unsustainable, and he expects the city to spend $1 billion on resources.
The mayor says about 5 to 6 buses of migrants are being brought in every day. He says 9 came yesterday alone. Adams today saying the burden of migrant care is being put on the Big Apple unfairly.
New York City is being forced to bear far more than its share of this national crisis caused by political motivation.
The city is also announcing additional measures to accelerate the pace of moving long-term unhoused New Yorkers into permanent housing.
And coming up, just a sneak peek here at your 5-day forecast. I got that and why your next car purchase might look a little different. Stick around.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
All right, let's jump right into this weekend outlook. Now, I was talking all about fall in Syracuse. Personally, we've seen it get as cold as 30 degrees by the beginning of October. And look at this, 53 degrees and 60 right now. I mean, lows of 40s. That's cold, but it's not as bad as it could be. So I'm putting the outdoor activity outlook this weekend to a high. We got medium winds, nothing too crazy. And then we're getting partly cloudy, so we shouldn't be seeing any rain into the beginning of next week as well as this weekend. And then let's talk about this, 50-degree temperatures. I mean, I'm excited. This is a good time. We haven't gotten a lot of rain. The grass is dry. If you're going to go for a little walk around the park, picnic, this is the time to do it. Now, a major future regulation could impact the local air pollution and climate. Well, by the next time you buy a new car, it could look a lot different. New York lawmakers are working on regulations to have all new cars zero emissions by 2035, and the realities here in Syracuse may bring up some problems for this goal. It's the busy interstates like this one that has Governor Kathy Hochul announcing the statewide goal of requiring all new cars to be zero emissions by 2035. Yet, on the ground in dealerships like this, local sales manager John Latari says it's a lofty goal.
I think the chances of that actually happening by 2035 is slim to none. Normally I have 120 cars on my lot. I have 19 as of today.
Now, Hochul does have a timeline for this goal, with 35% of cars in model 2026 to be zero emission and 68% by 2030. But project scientist at the Onondaga Environmental Institute, Stephanie Johnson, says it's not just about the amount of new cars that are available.
In New York alone, there's 11 million cars on the road, and so we need an electrical grid that can support that. And so where we get that energy from to supply the electrical grid is obviously going to be really important as well.
New York is currently one of 17 states following a similar plan California passed a month prior that aims to limit automobile emissions. And while there are hurdles to jump, local business development manager at Syracuse Volvo, Jacqueline Rudder, says the demand for electric cars is there.
They are globally sold out for Volvo at this moment, so we're taking pre-orders and we're getting inquiries every single day, but they're selling faster than we can make them.
So while the process of approval for this goal is finally in the rear view, the actual execution to make this goal a reality seems to be a long road ahead. And that long road ahead includes improving the infrastructure as well as just having these cars available on the lot. So let's end here. John, I mean, you're in studio. It's great to see you. Are we a football school? I got to ask, fan perspective. What do we think?
Yeah, Walker, I know basketball season is coming up, but it's all about Cuse football right now. The Orange are off to their best start in 35 years, but let me tell you, there's a gauntlet ahead. We'll get into that after the break.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
No game for Syracuse football this week, but hey, sometimes we all need a breath of fresh air. Welcome to sports. I'm John Eads. SU is rolling. A 5-0 start, weekly shout-outs from Robert Griffin III on social media, and ranked status for the first time in 3 years. Syracuse head coach Dino Babers knows his team has accomplished so much already and is excited to keep pushing, hopefully with 12 men instead of 11.
I can't wait to see us after this break when we come back and we have NC State in the Dome. Really looking forward to having it wild and crazy again, because we do need our 12th man if we're going to continue this run in the second half.
That second half is daunting. Syracuse has dates with a couple top 15 teams over the next 2 weeks. After that, it's 3 road games against ACC foes in the month of November. But hey, let's live in the present. At this very moment, Syracuse is 5-0 and has 7 tries to get 1 singular win to claim bowl eligibility. The first opportunity arises next Saturday when number 14 NC State makes its way to the Loud House. It's the first matchup between 2 ranked football teams in the Dome since 2001. Now, for reference, that was the year I was born. The Wolfpack are off to a 4-1 start after a loss at Clemson last week. The last time Dave Doran and company visited the Hill as a ranked team, the Pack was outdueled in a 51-41 shootout. A team that has had a lot of ranked wins over the years is Syracuse men's basketball. The Orange are hitting the floor for the first time tonight, but not in the Dome. This time in Rochester, SU partaking in Monroe Madness. Now, if you're wondering what exactly Monroe Madness is, the SU men's and women's basketball teams are partaking in the event. There's a 3-point shooting contest, a dunk contest, and it all gets going in just a few minutes at 6:30. Back on the Hill, there's more ranked action going on, but you don't have to wait a week to get it. 7th-ranked Syracuse men's soccer tries to close out its week on a high note. SU welcomes in number 4 Wake Forest for a top 10 battle over on South Campus. The Orange haven't picked up an ACC home win since September 10th. They look to change that at the top of the hour. Now, Syracuse and Wake are currently tied for the lead in the Atlantic Division. The winner of tonight's game earns pole position. What helps SU is that history is on its side. The last time the Demon Deacons made the trip north to the 315 was back in 2018. And just like their in-state friends, the NC State football team, the Deacs were stunned as the nation's #1 team. The Orange try to repeat history in about 30 minutes. Let's head to the Diamond now because it's October. The leaves have changed, and it's time for some playoff baseball. The Mets embark on postseason play for the first time since 2016, but the last time New York made it to this stage, it fell in this exact same game, the NL Wild Card.
John, thank you. Go Phillies. When we come back, Walker's got one last look at your weather. Stay with us.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's on me.
That's not right. How is it? Is it good?
Well, let's bring in tomorrow's weather. We got 53 degrees, some cloud, moderate winds. This seems to be the theme throughout this weekend. It's going to be great. Guys? Well, I'm going to keep going. I got time. Let's go. 53 degrees. It's nice out. We got a lot of cloud coverage. Things are looking really good outside. Like I said, this is the time to get outdoors.
Walker, thank you. Hey. Playoff baseball.
Playoff baseball, man. Well, there's nothing better. There's nothing better.
Everybody saw me in the Citrus TV newsroom frantically screaming, hoping that the Philadelphia Phillies would win a playoff game, and you know what?
Is it just you? That's just you.
It's just me.
That might just be you.
It's me.
I mean, I'm pulling for my Phillies, too. My stepdad's a Phillies fan. I'm a Red Sox fan, so unfortunately, I'm all about the Fightins this October.
Lots of playoff baseball to go.
I got you, man.
That'll do it for News Live at 6. Be sure to wake up with Alex Malinowski and Nicole Aponte on Juice and Java tomorrow at 11:30 a.m.
For more of the latest, follow us on Twitter at CitrusTV News.
Now for John Eads, Walker Simmons, and the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Chilekasi Adele.
And I'm Trey Redfield. Good night, and have a great weekend.